10, 3, 4, 2, 8, 9, 0, 5, 1. Claude Bawles ready for action. Hello to the people that are already in the comments. Missing Maud, Spooky Bear. Spooky Bear just beat out Missing Maud. We should do it like a horse race, And coming up in the lead is Spooky Bear, and followed close behind is the Missing Maud. Oh my God, Big Bad Mama is missing from the field, and there's a last minute entry here, and it's Aiden, he's just edging out Kent Hovind, who's running up the last, and he's just about, and the winner is Missing Maud. Okay. Yeah, anyway. I hope everybody is well, and that I haven't muted anything. Yes. Can you hear me in the comments? Second question, do you really want to hear me? I don't know. So anyway. Oh my goodness, it's been a busy few weeks. And I haven't been on very much, but I thought, there's a little chance to go on now, so I will. And because I'm so mean, I use the free version of StreamYard, and tomorrow it recycles to another, So I thought I might as well use up my last hour or so. And everything. I've provocatively entitled this, the Kent Hovind Challenge. I'm hoping that any minute now Kent will pop on and have a discuss with the Claude. Apparently there's something going on with Kurisu where they're hoping to have a debate with him, which would be good, and they've invited him to Dinosaur Adventure World. And everything. That's very nice. I don't know if he should go or not. That's up to him. Yes, Maud, I hope Kent joins. I was also hoping Sandra might come in too, but because I'm known as having that matchmaker touch. I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but people come to me with their marital problems and issues, and I'm often able to get them back together again. Isn't that lovely? So, I'm hoping that Sandra can join too. Or, maybe if not Sandra, maybe Cindy, or maybe if not Cindy, maybe Mary. And if not Mary, maybe Joe. I'm determined to make Kent's twilight years happy, and with a woman who will be submissive to him. Which, of course, is why I'm not recommending Maud marry him, because I think he might get a bit of a handful, A marital aid, yes. I'm if I lived in Virginia, for example, I would be known as the vibrator of Virginia, the marital aid of Virginia. But I don't, of course, so that's sort of a bit of bad luck. I'm maybe the Singapore Sling. Oh, no, that's a cocktail. No, so I can't be a Singapore Sling either. Anyway, no, it's all going good. I noticed that Kent's channel is now monetized. I can tell you now, my channel will never be monetized, right? I never seek to make money from this. This is my ministry. I don't want your donations. Just keep your hand in your pocket there. Keep your credit. Go cut up your credit cards now. The Claude will never want your credit card details. He would never want your donations, because he wants to remain independent. The voice of reason in a world rapidly sinking into the chasm of chaos. Goodness, I'm speaking quite. Have I had something to drink? I don't know. I don't think so. Pocket pool. No pocket pool. What's pocket? Is that like pocket billiards? Have you heard of that, Missing Maud? Pocket billiards? I've heard of pocket billiards. I've not heard of pocket pool, but I'm guessing it's a similar sort of a thing. Oh my goodness. So Now, what else can I talk about? Yes, I listened to Aiden this morning, listened to Missing Maud yesterday. Um, that was one of your record length shows, wasn't it, Maud? I don't think I've was 7 or something hours, which was good. The time went very fast anyway. So, that was when time goes fast, you think, well, this is a good show. If time drags, you think this is a bad show. I tell you what, I don't know if this is a sign of the Lord or of the Satan, but on my channel content, I just looked up, my thing that gives me all the statistics. And my last full video was called Kent Hovind Today. I don't know why I called it that, but anyway, it's just had a small number of views, 25 views, but it's had exactly 25 comments. So for a small video, like 25 views, to get 25 comments, what is that telling the Claude? Any comments welcome? If you've got any suggestions, is it evil? Is it wicked? Or is it a blessing? Yeah, I don't know. So hello, Tubian too. Oh, pocket pool is slang for playing with oneself. I see. Yeah, I'd heard of pocket billiards too. Not that I don't approve of that sort of thing, because it's quite frankly it's not good, and in the Bible it says it's not good, and we're not to spill anything on stony ground. We are to sow oats, or whatever. 25, my lucky number, says Spooky. Well, it might well be. I've never thought of it before. I've never had a lucky number. I've had a favorite color, but I've never had a lucky number. Oh, yeah, I know what the Kent Hovind Today one was when it's now off the stream, but 3 times tried to start the show, the brilliant tech skills, and 3 times it sort of went for a minute or two, and this horrible background noise and all that sort of a thing, and eventually after 3 times gave up. Well, being Claude, I managed to clip it and put it together an amalgamation of that. So, that was what that was about. I've now discovered it, and that's got 25 comments in 25. Don't anybody spoil it by making it 26. Okay, that would be bad. Your favorite number is 9, Mod. Mine is 6. So we better not ever get together, because side by side that might not be. I don't know if that's a biblically approved position, but you're 9, I'm 6. Yeah, it isn't lucky. It's probably because you haven't met the Claude in real life yet, but there's always hope. One day, might get over that way. I looked back and I found an old Aaron Ra video, and I put just a little short of it, because it's something that annoys me too. A lot of these, Kent will say it's minor in the scheme of things. And do come on, Kent. I'm waiting for you. And I'll be nice. You can be. I'm very nice and polite when you do come on. I'll be like an inquisitor, but like the Singapore Inquisition, not the Spanish Inquisition. But anyway, I'll be nice. Now, what was I talking? Yes. So I found this thing, and quite often these creationists and young earth people, they'll pick certain words and they pronounce them in a most odd way, even for a Frenchman, So if again, it's not water, it's water, the water, right? And the water did that. And yes, Maud, biblically approved. Yes, there's only 1 or 2 things you're allowed to do biblically in the Bible, and one of them is the missionary position, apparently. So I've heard. We'd have to ask Dan, missionary position Posy, about that. But anyway, back to this thing. The thing that annoys me, saying things like water. No, they say water. I say water. whatever floats your boat, as it were. That was a bad joke. Anyway, the one that they often say is instead of evidence. Now, evidence is a word that is plural or singular. Show me your evidence. And he says, Kent says, evidences. And of course, all his other little followers, they follow along like sheeps. Ah, gotcha. Follow along like sheep. Dan, he will say things like evidences as well. Well, it's wrong. It's plain wrong. So I put up a thing a little bit about that, and I'd done my researches. My research. I was sitting on my furnitures at the time. No, not my furniture, because that's plural too. So why would you say furnitures? I mean, it's just basic. And for some reason, it got to the Claude, so I made a little short about it. It's based on Aaron Ra's very clever summation of the issue. What's this Olympic level pocket pool? Probably it's going on. I don't know. Many people have said to me, Claude, you should enter the Olympics. But I don't think it's the regular ones they want me to do. I think it's another kind of Olympics. But anyway, I think Aidan should enter the Olympics for talking. He has the amazing ability to go from character to character and to talk off the top of his head. And it's really, really good. It's very clever. And I think he could have a great career even as a, like a show host. I don't just mean on YouTube. And a comedian too. So, I really like that. So what other things? Kent, while you're coming on, when you do come on, Kent, could you tell us how come you're on a channel that isn't your channel? I just really want to know how you're doing that. How you're being on a channel, but you're not on YouTube at all. And when I click on it, I see that the website associated with this Kent Hovind Official One channel that isn't apparently yours, I see the website is drdino.com, and coincidentally, that's your website. And then I see the app is kenthovind.tv. And then I see the Facebook is Kent Hovind Official. And the X is Hovind Official. And the Instagram, and the Rumble, and the TikTok, and the email, drdino@drdino.com. So all these things are yours, but the channel you are on YouTube and under them, apparently you're not on YouTube. And I don't know, is this some magic sort of a trick? Is it reverting back to Bible times when we could see things we couldn't imagine? I don't know, but Yes, thank you, Aidan. Do start a TV show, invite all of us as guests. On the other hand, I don't know if all of us as guests is really going to help. You might be better leave some of us out of it. It's like when Kent in his lawsuit mentioned, names like Big Bad Mama and other channels, and that they're just going to look at it. Well, what the hell is this? Atheist Junior, and the judge is going to look at that and think, what is this guy on? So remember, anybody's welcome to come on if they want to, because the old Claude can't go on forever. I did think Proverbs guys might be having a show, but I wasn't sure if it was a test or not. And plus, they always start about, well, it can be anything up to 4 hours later than the advertised time. So, yeah. The other one I really want to get to the bottom of is he does say that certain types of offenders have never been to DAL and I don't have any here. And well, it gets confusing. One minute it's never had any there, then it's no, but they've never stayed the night. And then it's, oh, well, he can't control who visits. So I put all that up into one amalgam where he's saying one thing, and then I do have the clip of him inviting, talking to Chris Jones, who admits he's an offender. I won't use the word what can't, because if you do, what I find in my shorts, if I don't sort of blip the words out, hardly anybody sees it, so they must restrict it somehow. If I bleep the word out, that sounds a bit like PDF and file. If I blip that out, then it gets, more people see it. So there must be something to that. It must have some algorithm that does that. So I just want to know, which is it, Ken? Because I hear all these, first of all, there never have been any here. Then it's, or something like that. Then there is, well, they haven't stayed the night. And how can I control people that come here anyway? There aren't any here. And then I have him where a certain person with the surname Jones says, well, I am a... And Kent says, and he says, what's your policy at DAL? Is it don't ask, don't tell? And Kent says, you're welcome here anytime, brother. That sounds a bit different to what he's sort of saying earlier. The funniest thing recently is he's telling these group of singers, this family of singers, and that they're... oh, I've lost my track. He's telling this family of singers that if there were any there, he and the Swiss Army knife would sort it out, implying that he would do some sort of a castration. What the funny thing is, of course, and I must do a clip of that, there are clips up of Kent absolutely moaning at his son Eric demanding that he return the underwear, the knife, the pocket knife, the Swiss Army knife, and his collection of something else. So I don't know what Swiss Army knife he's going to be able to use, because from what I understand, Eric still has it. So I'm talking all around in circles. I don't know at the moment. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and I just love to catch, I don't want to be a mean person, although I am quite mean. But when you hear a blatant, what I consider hypocrisy, I feel bound to call it out. So if somebody says, no, there aren't, never have been, don't stay the night. Well, my question also to Kent would be, does Mr. Byram, has he ever stayed the night? Has Mr. Byram ever stayed the night? The one that Stephen outed as being the guy that that had some involvement with one of his own family members and was also a member of your board. I don't know if he still is, because you sort of keep that a bit to yourself. That's fair enough. You've had the different characters on your board. One of them was Mr. Byram at one stage. You also had the poor, ill-fated vitamin guy, Bill. Bill died of apparently a, shall we say, a respiratory illness, right at the peak of when people were suffering from a certain respiratory illness. And of course, he refused any form of normal medical intervention, or dare I say the word and recommended vitamins. Incidentally, I did correspond. Yeah, I did correspond with Bill when he was alive, and he actually sent me his solution for that illness, and it involved medication that you would normally take for cold sores. And because at the time it was totally unknown, I actually kept some of that on hand just in case I got it, and I did get it. And fortunately, it wasn't too serious of a case. And but it didn't work. That remedy didn't work. So, and sadly for him, it didn't work. Didn't work either. So now, looking at what's happening in the comments. Of course, Maud would have to pick on this. Who even wants their underwear back? Well, especially if it's been used, I've always wanted to, I thought that we could start our own underwear brand to compete with the Mormons. They have their own underwear, don't they? That special godly underwear. In fact, I could even suggest it to Kent as a money-making scheme to help the ministry. If you sold enough of it, you could pay for that blacktop, and you could get godly underwear, although I'm not sure if a G-string is godly. Do you call that a G-string in your country? Do you know what I mean by that? What's the other word? G-string. The thin, the underwear that at the front there's something, but at the back it's just like a piece of string, up the old. And you can have, so I don't know if you can sell that as godly Dinosaur Adventureland underwear or not. But if you can, it could be a money-making venture. I've even got the title for it, Skiddies underwear. Or you could call it Skiddies No Skidwear. Yeah, because it could be Teflon coated. I don't know why, I mean, I am quite an inventor in my own right, and I have come across, many ideas in my mind. I don't eat the peanut butter pizza, but I do, I do come up with these ideas. So, that could be good. Now, what does it say here? A thong. All right, so you do know what a thong or a G-string, so you do know what they mean. Funnily enough, in Australia, we talked about Australia. I was on someone's show the other day. Was it Robin's show? Yeah. And Australia, the word for G-string is G-string, but the thong is what you wear on your feet. Yeah, and a thong, it's like would it be flip-flops? Do you say that word? Havaianas, I think, make them. Havaianas, but they're just a thing that put in. There's one little thing that fits between your toe, and that's called a thong in Australia. So you want to get a bit confused if you go there and you decide you need new underwear and you go in and ask for a thong. You'll probably find a piece of rubber equipment that you probably would be pretty uncomfortable if you shoved it where the sun don't shine. Yeah, flip-flops, yes. Would a G-string without the waistband be a C-string? That could be. Well, yeah. Well, who wrote? Was it Bach? Wrote that air on a G-string, and it's a most beautiful piece of music. And I hadn't realized that the G-string had gone back that far. I thought in those days, hundreds of years ago, the underwear was sort of from the neck to the ankles. But no, Bach composed a piece. I'm pretty sure it was Bach. I hope it was. Air on a G-string. So there you go. And from what I've occasionally seen, some G-strings allow quite a bit of air, So that's something a bit different. If you have no butt, it's called a T-string. If you have a big one, apparently it's called a whale tail. That's what I've heard, a whale tail. So I guess in Bible times, was it possible that Jonah was wearing a whale tail, and that's part of what attracted him to be swallowed by that whale for, what is it, 3 days? I can't remember. Yeah, a whale tail. Have you not heard that saying before, Aidan? Yeah. Well, you imagine it now, quite a big backside, or bottom, or derriere, as we say, looming in front of you, often bending over to pick up something they've dropped on the ground, their wallet or whatever, or their purse. They've dropped it on the ground, bending over to pick it up, and what you see looks like a whale tail. So that's an explanation from from the Claude. Yeah. You haven't seen Eden. You've yet to live. I suppose it comes from living in a cold country like Canada, where you get 1 week of summer air and people are on the beach. You want to go to some of these hot places, you see lots of those whale tails on the beach, and some people like it, some people don't. I can't say I'm impartial myself. I'm quite a sensitive man, and yes, I try not to get too involved in that sort of thing nowadays in my old age. Where have we got to? Yes, there was we had that family with there, the Rizzi family, I think it was their name. I've looked them up, but they obviously don't maintain an online presence. They were singing. It wasn't too bad, I'll have to say. Largely in tune. One person was a bit flat. I'm talking about their singing. But it went okay. But Kent sort of felt the need to sing along with it, and I did extract some bits, and I said, turn up the volume for the songster's cough, and it was basically, they were going, and then he'd be hum away, and then and you could hear that it was coming intrusively through their song. So they were doing not a bad job, and Kent was just hacking and wailing through it, whereas he should have turned his microphone off and let someone else achieve something for a change, especially when he's not a good singer. So anyway, so that was and then what else? He did have this poor lady. Yes, I'd say that Claude goes to the beach wearing a chastity belt. Well, it's probably my Speedos. Do you know what Speedos are, Aidan? Or Mod, do you know what Speedos are? They're very small swimming trunks. Do you say swimming trunks or costume? In Australia, they say a cosy, means a swimming costume. Well, Speedos are well known there, and people of certain proportions, like myself, tend to wear those as they strut around the beach. And because they're so tight, they can act as a chastity belt by cutting off the circulation. And in that case, they do that. Yes, banana hammocks, says Sammy. Banana hammocks is the word. The other one, are you familiar with a bird in America called a budgie? They're like a canary, or they're often kept as pets at home. They're a very small little bird. So budgie smugglers. Budgie smugglers is another term that I've heard. So banana hammocks, budgie smugglers, and yes, Mod Bod. Speedos are gross on the wrong person, but I find them in colder weather, I can get away with wearing them. Of course, in the heat of summer, I just, sort of things tend to, whatever. And I'm not an exhibitionist, so I reserve wearing my Speedos or my banana hammocks or budgie smugglers. I wear them in the cold. And I find I don't have any problems when I do that. Whales walk on land now. Yes, that sort of confirms evolution, doesn't it? Yeah, I must. I hope Kent is listening, and because we can use that as a proof of evolution. Speedos are gross. Yes, on the wrong person. I imagine, I don't want to talk about him because he's not here, but Big Bad Mama. Imagine seeing Big Bad Mama in a pair of Speedos. Oh, I don't know. I do rather like his hiking through the canyons and everything, and every now and then you'll see him jump in the water. You notice how I pronounce it correctly, water, not water. And in a pair of, I would call them trunks. They're like shorts. Yeah, so that he does tend to wear those, and I think probably for very good reason. So I've heard. I'm not sure about you, Aidan, what you wear. I don't know what Kent would wear. I'd imagine he would wear reinforced Speedos, especially during times of those therapeutic massage that he supposedly likes, because we've got to keep things Christian. We can't possibly get excited, at the touch of another. And some people do, I mean, I think God made us that way. And if somebody touches us, sometimes we can get, overly, a little bit enthusiastic, shall we say. I mean, even some guys I know, they're familiar with their left hand. They're right-handed guys, but they always talk about their left hand because they say it feels like someone else's. I couldn't possibly comment. We'd have to ask someone else. Yeah. Shorts or nothing, Maud says. And I would agree. Yeah, it's either shorts or wear nothing. Because the human form, in many cases, is God has made it, and we shouldn't be ashamed of it, unless we're too small, of course. We shouldn't be ashamed, and we should, if you've got it, as they say, flaunt it. Yeah, I don't mean flop it out. I mean flaunt. Just strut around. I mean, that's how mates find each other. That's how reproduction occurs right through the animal kingdom. It's the same. Take the peacock and the peahen, for example. The peahen is quite a bland, browny colored feathers, but the peacock is beautiful blue turquoise, wonderful feathers sticking up, and he really struts around to attract the females, and he's waving his tail. I presume it's his tail, and other things, and he's getting right up close and personal. And then she decides, he's the guy for her, and they have a little session, and then there's eggs, and then there's a whole lot of little peacocks or peahens running around. So the peacock is the male, the peahen is the female, and it just mirrors, God's creation, doesn't it? That's the way he must have planned it. He's the way he planned it with us. So yeah, that. Now I got myself a bit sidetracked. He's interviewing this lady, and she actually does say it's an appalling interview, not because of her, because the sound is just so bad. It's blah, 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 blah. So here's this poor kid, I think 17, 18-year-old, and talking about how earnest she is, and she wants to write about creation. Of course, I totally disagree with her, what she's trying to do, but she's a decent person, and he's on there, and he's telling her this and telling her that. I don't give her any advice. Or should I say advices? Because if you give a person more than one piece of advice, is that giving them advices? That's apropos to my earlier conversation about Kent and his evidences. No, of course you don't. It's advice. One advice, two pieces of advice. It's all advice. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting too excited here. So he's talking to this poor girl, and he's gonna come on again sometime, and she writes for some things. She's going to write about creation. I would love to have been able to. She runs all these different social media things. She did say she was autistic. That's fine. Everybody has gifts and talents to bring. In fact, these days we're just about all got something with us, haven't we? We're all ADHD or autistic, or what are those? There's another name as well. There's lots of different things. I sat the test for autism the other day, and it took me 5 times before I passed it. So I can now say that I'm autistic. So hopefully there's some help for me available somewhere along the line. Anyway, but I did think, and I put alongside this is, I hope Kent isn't trying to recruit people still for his hen house. You'll remember that a year or so ago he was talking about they're building the hen house, and they've got the man cave and the hen house, and he was saying, pastors, send your women to live in the hen house and do all sorts of womanly things, and no doubt provide perhaps a pool of wives for the man cave. So I do hope he wasn't trying to, that wasn't part of his thing. Then the other one I had, it got quite a lot of views for a change for the Claude. It was a short. I don't know if you've heard of Betty Bowers, Mrs. Betty Bowers. You want to look up America's Best Christian. It's a channel. It's a bit of a spoof. So Betty Bowers claims to be so godly, and she's talking about Noah's Ark. So I put a clip of Kent's Noah's Ark and Mrs. Betty Bowers talking about Noah's Ark side by side. So Mrs. Betty Bowers, America's Best Christian. I think you'll get a laugh out of that channel. I'm just going to type it in. Betty Bowers and America's Best Christian. Well worth a look at the channel if you want a good laugh. That started on a thing called Landover Baptist org, which is a huge site, and it's a bit of a, shall we say, a spoof on various mega type churches, and Mrs. Betty Bowers has a spot on that. The other day, I was realizing that Kent's coming up to his 10th anniversary of someone giving him the property. That's the way he says he was given the property. So who was given the property? Kent was given the property. Whose property is it, therefore? It's Kent's property. Well, I put it up alongside another thing where Kent had, sorry to talk about him too much, Mod, but anyway, where Kent had said where someone had reported on the case, and the end of it was a sort of a jail term, but there was also a requirement to pay $600,000 in back taxes, and so. If they never collected that, and I don't know if they did or didn't, perhaps Kent could tell us, he's now said that it's his property. They should move in and take it, sell it. He can buy it back if he wants, and pay the debt that was imposed at the time. So we'll see what happens there. Will they move in? The other one, and I want everybody, and I want Missing Mod, and I want Aidan, depending on your time zone, at 1 minute past midnight, wherever you are, 1 minute past midnight on the 1st of January, 2029, you want to run a show, because even though, it's hard to tell when the world's going to, the second coming, or what do they call when the world is going to end? And apparently we're in the tribulation now. Ken's pretty certain. He doesn't go the full 100%, because all these types, they won't speak anything that they could be sort of held to account too much on. But anyway, looks as though we're in the tribulation, and he doesn't really want to, but if he had to put a date on it, he'd say 2028. Christ comes for his church or whatever. I think, is that called the rapture? Something like that. Or is it the raptor? I'm not sure. The raptor or the rapture. Anyway, apocalypse, Armageddon, all that sort of thing. So I want you to run a show to show that he was wrong. And I want that to be to 1 minute past midnight. So you've just had your New Year's Eve celebration, your fireworks have gone off, and you go on and you do a show and you say, there, Claude was right, Kent was wrong, the world hasn't ended. Right? I'll be doing the same. I'm a bit ahead of you in the time zone, so we'll all have little shows that don't have to go on forever saying who was right. Now, of course, if it could be that he is right, in which case we can all bend over and kiss our asses goodbye anyway. So, it's not too bad. Woohoo! Woohoo! You're the Armageddon apocalypse now. That's good. Yes, spooky. Yes, God gave Kent that property. But the Lord giveth, and he also taketh away, doesn't he? God gives and he takes away. And so I'm sort of hoping that God has given, but he's going to do the right thing and take it away as well. Caruso, great to see you earlier. And I saw your show earlier, which was great. And I think you're doing another one, which is good because this one won't go on much longer. And you'd had that email from Joseph, Kent's right-hand tech person. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So he is going to invite you to there, and that's all. He's going to pay you away, but there is no such thing as a free lunch. I just don't know what you'll do there. Oh, Woohoo, can you sign out of your YouTube, close your YouTube channel?
Hold on.
Or mute it.
Hold on 1 second.
No.
Let me see what's
you can
going
just
on.
turn the volume down.
I'm pretty new to all this chat. Okay.
I think you might have done it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I was going to say there's only one thing better than hearing Claude, and that's hearing him twice. But
yeah, I had it on a speaker. So
no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, Missy Mod wanted me to come on, so I do whatever.
Oh, good on you. She cracks the whip or so.
Yeah.
She believes in biblical discipline.
And, I submit.
You probably like it.
Oh, I do.
Like it. She wants to know how your dad is, Woohoo.
My dad?
Yeah.
Well, he's 91 years old. He works full-time as an attorney.
That's incredible.
And, he's a handful. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, because you almost think, well, if he was, he had one of those age illnesses related to memory or whatever, he might be just sort of calm and sit back and enjoy life. But he's actually working, and so it makes him harder for you to.
And he's a type A, and I'm a type B, so we've always kind of what's the word, clashed a little bit, but
yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
That's right.
But no, he doesn't really have a ton of physical issues.
Right. Carissa, who was on earlier with his show, he's been invited to Kent's offered him to go to Dinosaur Adventureland, all expenses paid, to try and win him to. But I don't. It's up to him whether he goes or not. In a way, it'd be fascinating to go, but I can understand feeling a bit uncomfortable if you're sort of the odd one out there. I don't know that I could do it by myself. Put it that way.
Well, yeah, I told you the last time I was on that I actually did visit there. I spent a morning and an afternoon there, but I do plan to. I do want to stay overnight once. So
yeah,
I don't think if he remembers who I am, which I don't think he will. I think I can get away with visiting again, but he was kind of upset with me because I actually gave him a generous review. I pretty much gave him a positive review, but then at the end I said he ate a bowl of bacon. He was sitting by himself in the lunchroom, and he ate a big, huge bowl of bacon. And for whatever reason, that made him mad that I mentioned that. So I don't know why that upset him, whether it's the fact that he is eating a big bowl of bacon or that nobody wanted to sit with him. Would you want to sit with him? He would make you do. He would put you to work.
All right. Oh, sounds like another person we know, Ken.
So I see why people avoid them because
Yeah. Oh, dear. Have you got any brothers and sisters?
I have two
To hear?
brothers. Well, one passed away this summer. He had schizophrenia, like really bad.
Right.
It came on when he was in his
That's no good.
20s.
Yeah.
And so he could never work, and he was pretty much non-functional. But my parents took care of him, let him
Yeah.
stay at their house till the end. He had to be in the nursing home. So
Yeah.
he was 63. He was 6 years older than me. I'm now 58. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it was such a difficult situation for the whole family through
Yeah.
that it was kind of one of those. It was kind of a relief, and it happened quick. So
Yeah.
he just passed away in the night, and so. But my other brother is or was an attorney. He's not practicing right now, but he still has his law license.
Right.
And I'm just I don't know what you call it, just kind of a misfit.
You weren't interested in the law?
No, I went into I got a full scholarship to play bass at the Cincinnati College of Conservatory of Music.
Oh.
And I told my dad, well, I have to get a bachelor's degree, so I enjoy music and it's going to be
Yeah.
free, so let me do that, and then I'll think about law school afterwards. And
Mm.
so I got my music degree, which hasn't helped me at all in life,
Yeah.
as career wise. But then I I did take the LSAT, which is a test that can get you in, but I didn't. I had none of the classes I took related to law. I
Yeah.
didn't study for it. And there was one law school in Columbus, Ohio that accepted me. And I said, I really don't want to do this. So,
No, it's no point. Yeah.
so I joined a
Welcome.
band and
Yeah.
taught like private lessons. And
Hmm.
but the band I was in, we got to go over, play on military bases all over.
Yeah.
This was after the first Gulf War back in the
Oh,
90s. So I did get to see.
yeah.
I might not have made a lot of money, but I got to see the world. So
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Kurisu. Do you know
Hey,
Kurisu? Yeah. Yeah. So welcome to you. And yeah, I enjoyed your show this morning. Yeah, the update on the email. And I know it's a hard thing for you to decide what to do.
yeah. Well, I'm at work, I'm doing my thing, and then it's
Yeah.
like, I check my Zadara email. I'm like, oh, it's Joseph, what? And then I read, and I'm like, okay, this is something. Let me
Yeah.
get home and immediately cover this, and turn it into an hour of just rambling. I'm just like, oof, I mean, what can you do? It's like, okay, you're gonna do the same kind of email that you sent that Kent was on last Wednesday's show showing about, they sent this to Dave Farina and with all the
Yeah.
points, and it's like, okay, that's great, but I mean, dude, like, are you just trying to goad me on, or what is it? I mean, I'm not gonna be a
Yeah.
jerk to you, Joseph, but I mean, you're just a pawn in Kent's grand game. So,
Yeah.
but I took it seriously as I could, still
Yeah.
cracked a few jokes here and there, and I don't know. I mean, what can you do when you get wrapped up in the Hovind verse?
No, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, Joseph, as you put out, he's almost like he is a bit of a victim as well. I know he
Mhm.
annoys me from time to time, but he is, yeah.
It's like that's a thing with Kent, is that people who are of a strong enough faith and particular convictions, who otherwise would be perfectly decent people, will
Yeah.
get drawn towards him and what he says because it aligns with theological elements they believe, and then they just get wrapped up in it, which adds to the
Yeah.
cult logic that it's the cult of personality around Hovind, that everything is focused on Hovind himself.
Yeah.
And people just become victims of that need for, humanity, the social aspects that we have that need to be in contact.
Yeah. Oh, Maud says here, she has a friend that he might be Joseph's family, she thinks. So,
Wow.
That's interesting. Wow.
Small
So,
world.
if that's the case, yeah. But of course, Maud thinks I have a Hovind de Bonaire. Well, I do.
Oh, don't
but
we
it's
all?
not in that sense, quite in that sense.
Listen, Mon, I do see you saying you really like the lawsuit stream, so I appreciate that.
Woohoo's dropped out somehow, but that's fine.
I tend to scare away people.
No, I think device. It said some problem with his device. Yeah,
Oh, wonderful.
I think I'll do that, and yeah, that's fine. That gives him a chance to rejoin if he wants. So you would have a trouble going there anyway because if you're working. How are you going to go except when you are off work?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's the thing. I just burned all my time in the move. We accrue more time as the weeks go on, but I would need at least a few days beginning and end if it was like a weekend trip to make
Yeah.
sure that everything can happen. Transit's going
Yeah.
to be dedicated to a day one way and a day the other way. So, plus it's a logistics annoyance. It's not impossible, but I don't want to, be doing red eye and go from one work week to the next work week, especially with the kind of work I do.
Yeah, no, so I can understand. Yeah. Do you think he will actually end up? Do you think he'll end up actually even having a debate with him or a discussion with him? Over video, over like how he does it anyway, without having to go there. Is that a possibility? Or
It's definitely a possibility. That was what some of the original email exchanges with me and Joseph were about. Was that, and I kept them private enough because I didn't want to spoil things, and I also just wanted to actually let whatever happens be what happens.
Yeah.
But that's still on the agenda. I'm definitely, when I respond to Joseph, I'm gonna, as I was saying at the end of my stream, gonna be like, hey, by the way, on the debate and discussion stuff, got a little sidetracked with life, but I think I'm in a position where we can actually plan something.
Yeah. Because it would be good. I just don't like the way Kent waves around a rubber chicken. It looks a bit like a sex doll, with its mouth open, and says, "Oh, nobody will debate me." Well, when he carries on like that, who's going to debate?
Yeah,
Like that?
it's just beyond childish, and I know maturity is debatable with me, and the flowery language I use and the like, but it's like this is just silly, man. I mean, you're 73 years old. That just, I don't know, man. It doesn't look good.
Is there any news on the Mark Stoney lawsuit?
Oh, there was that update a week or so ago when he refiled. I don't know if you're aware of that, but he refiled a 200-page one, and he's threatening to add other people's names to it. And then he talked, was it Professor Dave? He was threatening to, was it him or I forget? I get confused between. Yeah, he had Professor Dave. He was replaying some of the stuff and says, I could put you, do you want to see your name on here, Professor Dave, or something like that? I mean, it's all bluster. Yeah, all bluster, but no. You don't know anything more, Kurisu? You don't know?
I was wondering if any of us, we may need to take some time, maybe over the weekend, to see if we can track down the updated filing, because we have the old one. I covered that on that stream, but I'd like to see what the updated one actually contains, or is he bluffing and it really is just the same old suit?
He's doubled the pages have increased hugely. I can imagine. I can think I'll have a look afterwards if I've got it, and I'll flick it to you by email.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think it's quite lengthy.
I mean, definitely not doing another stream on it, but I can, try to hit the finer points.
This would be days and days. It's that, yeah. But yeah, you could look for what's changed, and it's just basically threats to add other people and blah 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 blah.
Wasn't there a problem with him serving the amended document to Mark?
Yeah, but this time it has been served, I think. According to Kent, it says that he had the sheriff.
I don't
serve it
think
on him.
Mark's
Yeah.
trying to avoid it.
No,
He's got an attorney, from what I've heard.
yeah, yeah.
So, which is unfortunate that he has to even go that far. But
what I'd suggest, and I don't know the law in America, so I can't be sure, but in other countries that I'm aware of, if you filed a suit like that, the defendant, in other words, Mark, could ask the court to impose a bond on the plaintiffs, that's Kent, etc. Let's say $100,000, so that if it goes ahead and Kent loses, then there's money to pay Mark's expenses. And so
that'd be
I would
great.
be asking the court, and it's only fair that they impose a bond. The money's paid to the court, and then at the end, Kent, let's say it doesn't succeed, and then Mark can get paid out from that money, because we know that otherwise Mark won't see a cent. Kent would just keep obfuscating. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I doubt if they do that in America. I don't know where they do that, but it'd be a great idea, because that would eliminate 90% of the frivolous lawsuits.
Absolutely.
It stops frivolous lawsuits. You can apply to that in the courts of Australasia. I know, probably England too. You would have to initiate it and say, look, this is a frivolous lawsuit. To show the guy is genuine, they should be able to put this money up. If they win, fine, they get it back. But if they lose, that goes to the defendant. Because on the very first one, I didn't want to say it at the time, but now the new one was corrected it. Kent got confused between the defendant and the plaintiffs. It was just that amateur.
Well, I'm not in YouTube right now, so I can't see the chat unless there's a way I don't know. I don't really hop on these shows that often, so I'm a newbie.
That's all right.
But
it's okay.
Is Misty Mod still in the chat?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Well, here's what I suggest: that she starts a GoFundMe for Mark Stoney's legal fees.
There you go. Now that's interesting. Yeah. We'll have to see whether she takes that up. I'm not sure she will. But I don't think,
I actually might. I've never met Mark in person, but I threaten him that I might visit him out in Washington this summer. So he seems like a cool dude. So
you could see if your brother can help him with some.
Yeah.
Or your
my dad.
There was a Mr. Anderson. Yeah.
My dad, because I told him I was going out to Kent Hovind's compound, and my dad said, "Don't even tell him that your dad's a lawyer. I want nothing to do with this guy." He's already said he wants nothing to do with Kent Hovind. So.
Nicholas Shunk is on, and he says, what are we talking about? Sorry, just joined. We're talking about Kent, funnily enough, and the lawsuit against Mark Stoney. Previously, we went through, you'd have to listen back. There was a whole lot. It was a bit of a comedy show for the first half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. Yeah. And this is Mod's reply is that Mark could do that himself and better than she could. So but I think he probably maybe at this stage doesn't need to. We'll see how far the suit progresses.
He could have gotten the lawyer for free. There's enough lawyers out there that hate Hovind that he could be getting it for free anyway. So
and worth pursuing that idea of a bond. Kent having to put up money. Otherwise, any fool can go and threaten to sue anybody, lead them to all sorts of expenses, pull out or lose the case, and it doesn't cost them anything. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not God's justice, in my view.
Well,
Yeah.
if you read the Bible, it's pretty against lawsuits, especially amongst Christians. There's several
Yeah.
verses in the New Testament that strongly prohibit suing your Christian brothers, but that doesn't seem to stop Kent. Kent will say that Mark's not really a true Christian. That's how they get around it. But
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
Kent has said a lot of things about Mark, including how he left the military. Kent has actually defamed Mark, in my
yeah, I've
humble
watched it.
opinion.
I went back
Yeah.
and watched that video, and there's more defaming from Kent than there is from Mark. Almost everything Mark says is factual, and then if he's speculating, he lets it know that he's given enough speculation. But yeah.
Even
Missing Mod says Mark told her a long time ago that Kent pulls out. I don't know what she's trying to say. This is the family show.
no comment.
As
I
long as
was
he doesn't
watching a
do it too
podcast.
soon.
I was watching a podcast with Mark Stoney, and I forget who the guy who was interviewing him, but he implied that Cindy put cameras in the bedroom, hidden cameras, and that Kent was always going in there and whacking his.
Yeah, well, we won't. Yeah, we'll have to
We
get
have the
into it.
audio.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is that there was recording going on the part of both parties. Kent was doing recording. Cindy appeared to be doing recording. Kent admits he was recording. So, quite frankly, they deserve what they get when they're both recording.
Yeah.
Nicholas says, correct, Mark has nothing to worry about. It wasn't filed in a real court. Well, it was filed in a real court, but it was pro se, which means that he'd come up with it himself. And then they're demanding a jury trial, and which is very ironic, because only a month ago, Kent was saying how you can nullify a jury. All it takes is one person to say.
It takes one
no.
person for jury nullification.
Data. Yeah, so I just thought, well, there you go, and you're demanding a jury trial. So
The thing
Yep.
The thing that kills me on Kent and his little suit and the way he's throwing it around like a threat is just idiotic. If there was any, if he thinks he's doing this seriously, he's failing miserably, because that just shows the vitriolic nature of its origin, that it's just a petty, blow to attack somebody and not, an actual request for justice. So
Yeah.
even if it had any credibility, it's not going to do him any good when anyone sees that.
No. Oh dear.
Well, the Bible does prohibit spilling your seed. You're supposed to only use your seed for having a baby. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that Kent shouldn't be going in there habitually and doing that.
Well, I've heard that it makes a good facial, but I couldn't possibly tell because I've never used it for that purpose. But
Okay,
we'll,
hang on.
wait.
Hear me out. Maybe Kent has some copies of National Pornographic in there, some specials on whales, and maybe he's manifesting that, the whale, he'll have the love child with the whale, and he'll have the 15-foot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. If he's going in there with his National Geographic with whale dick pics, I don't know. It could be. Cindy, only Cindy knows. She has the recording, so.
Yeah. Well, yes, I couldn't possibly comment. And, I would normally consider those sorts of things very private, but it's, after all, Kent started this whole recording business, waving a thing in front of Cindy and, then putting it up on YouTube. So he started it. And didn't the Bible say you reap what you sow?
Most
And
definitely.
so he's reaping what he sowed. And I can't think of a worse person. Yeah. Oh, we've come back to the whale tail. You see, we were talking about all sorts of things earlier, such as G-strings and thongs. what they call in Australia a thong, G-strings we were talking about, and whale. I said it was called a whale tail in some places. So we've come back now. Missing Mon said we've full circled back. You'd had to have heard the earlier part of the show to know. Just to let you know, at about 20 minutes, I have to stop. So if anybody does want to come on, now is the time to so do. So in about 20 minutes, I have to move on to something else. So, but and Akurisu, I think you're saying you're a bit tired. You're not going to do another one today. You think?
Yeah, no, it's past time. I'm just like, forget it.
Yeah. Okay, that's
save it for tomorrow.
That's right. I believe there is such a thing as too much of a good thing, you know.
Well, yeah, and then there's me streaming. I mean, my streaming is not a good thing. It just is.
Lately I found Kent is very rude about big women, and it's always big. He never criticizes obese men, but he's talking about us. Have you been to what is it, Walmart, and seen those women, 600-pound women there and stuff like that? I think, well, okay, but he goes on and on about it. I'm not keen on it either, but he's supposed to be a man of God and consider.
Well, he's definitely a misogynist.
It's always the woman's fault, isn't it? Everything is the woman.
The constant just hate that he spews. That's the key thing. That's why I decided to jump into the scene. He is just a creature of hate.
Yeah,
it's just the worst way.
And his Chinese jokes and his other and they just go on too much, and I think those days are well and truly gone. So that's why I put up the thing when he's saying there's no PDF files there, and I got one of Ricky Gervais. I put it alongside it about the Chinese PDF file joke because I thought, I'll stick it to Kent, a bit. So. And then what do you make of this business, Kurisu? I talked about it earlier. He's not on YouTube. He's on every channel, but he's not on YouTube. That gets me, and I can't understand it. I just can't understand it.
It's like it's right there. It's linked to Restream. Joseph replies to comments on it, shows the comments from it. It is a first-party channel. It was a channel that they used before the most recent banning happened. After Emma brought it to everyone's attention. It just he's on YouTube again. Don't lie and say you're not. That's all there is to it.
That's it. Yeah, I don't care. I actually don't care because I enjoy taking the mickey out of his channel, and it's easier for me to do it on YouTube. But YouTube is obviously not worried about enforcing its own rules. So provided it lets everybody do that, fine. But I just can't understand how he's able to do that, and with a straight face tell what I consider to be lies about it.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff that's relatively little, but still so present, so constant, so unabashed. I'm just going to lie about this. That makes you wonder how much other stuff is he truly lying about.
Yeah. I mean, there are shades of grey. This is not a shade of grey. This is outright. Yeah. And if he can do that, as you say, the other thing I was going to mention was before. So he's not on YouTube. There's something else. He's talking about, he thinks we're in the tribulation now. He's pretty sure it started right now. And then he won't put an exact date on it, but if pushed, he'll say 2028. That'll be the year that
it's always 3 years from the because I put him through it. It's always 3 years from whatever the date you asked him.
Yeah.
So.
Jesus is coming 3 years from now. Just you wait.
So if that happens, I want everybody who runs a channel like you, Kurisu, when it turns 1st of January 2029 in your country or time zone, you have your New Year, Happy New Year, and immediately do a show and say, well, we're still here.
Yeah.
Who was right? I say that it won't end then, Let's see who's right. It'll be the Hovind test.
I mean, I'm in the exact same time zone as Kent, so as soon as it's midnight, I might as well just like that night, if he's still around, January 1st, 2029, as soon as midnight hits, call him and be like, "Hey, Kent, Jesus didn't come."
I thought about the physics of the rapture and people meeting Jesus up in the clouds, and wouldn't that be a catastrophe if all these Christians go up into, let's say, around 30,000 feet and pass out and die from lack of oxygen and then fall back onto the earth? Or am I thinking too practically?
Well, I mean, I never thought of these songs as biblical, but the story of It's Raining Men and Drowning Pool's Bodies being the same event from two different perspectives. Yeah, I just realized they're parts of biblical apocalyptic prophecy.
and also, I don't want to get gross, but there are at least about 20% of the people would be going to the bathroom as they're being raptured. And you have to deal with the falling from the sky on us heathens.
A real show.
A real poop show.
Here comes Nicholas. Is Mr. Shunk coming in? Hi, how are you?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, so
hey man.
I don't know if you know Nick, but Nick used to work at DAL, so he's one of the.
Oh, I see Misty Maud's comment. She's got a Brett Keane stream with Mark
coming up soon. Yeah,
I wonder if that's when if there was a time when Mark actually got along with Brett Keane.
Who knows? I don't really know.
Back in the day,
there was a short period, but no.
When I met Mark, he was still living at DAL, and I was going to visit. I forget how I met him, but I've been always fascinated with cults, and I thought it was really cool to actually talk to someone that's in a cult, and he was living there. And within about a year, so before I could even visit, he moved out. But I went and visited anyway a couple years ago, and stayed for half a day. So
you weren't there when Nicholas was there then?
I can't remember the people. I went through. I just kept my mouth shut.
Mark was gone already. We were gone before Mark.
I went to they took me on the tour through the Science Center, and they have like all these posters that look like they're from maybe the 70s or 80s, and
his slides,
like the things on the wall of. It's been so long now of all the creationist stuff, and
but he's got a Van der Graaf generator, and that represents Jesus somehow.
Somewhere there's a video of Kent when I think it's like right when Photoshop came out, and I don't think he's aware of Photoshop and what you can do with it. And he has a whole video of like these gigantic human skull, like people taking a gigantic human skull in a wheelbarrow, and it's obviously Photoshop, but he doesn't know that, and he's saying that this is proof that the what's the giants from Genesis, whatever what they were called, but the Nephilim. This was proof that the Nephilim they've actually found their fossils.
I personally brought up many slides that I knew were like, we need to update these. There's new evidence. There's stuff like you don't have to use this anymore. Like because there is, you know what I mean? It's like this has been shown wrong and this has been shown wrong, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll update that, we'll do all that, and it just never happened.
Never happened.
I don't know if that's just old age now and just being stuck in his repetition, and because he used to update his slides all the time, but ever since he came out of jail, he's just stuck on that, same old.
Nick, it used to amuse me that, you sing, you play in tune, you play the guitar, and Kent is horribly flat. How did you get on with that? Because he's always trying to chuck his own voice in there. How did you manage that?
Basically, it was like, if I'm going to play and sing, it's going to be me play and sing.
Yeah.
So, and I would compromise on the songs and what he liked and didn't like. And believe me, I had a lot of other songs. I had played for churches for years before that point. But
it's just like he can't let anybody else be able at anything. Anything that he isn't as good at. He doesn't like it. Is that right?
Oh, 100. Like there was a time I called him up and I was like, "Oh, you're on this trip right now. We all did a Bible study together." And he's like, "Well, who led the Bible study?" I'm like, "Well, we all took turns reading." And he's like, "Don't do that again." I was like, "Whoa." He's like mad at me. And I was like, "Oh, I thought he'd be all excited that we're still in the Word together and staying close as a." Nope.
That is a real interesting common thread I've noticed from people who had been at DAL for any time. If they had any independent Bible study, he gets really offended at that, and it leans into both his own ego being a narcissist and just the cult of personality and the cult of Hovind that DAL is. Because it's not about Jesus, it's not about the Bible, it's not about faith, it's about Hovind.
Yeah, and that was kind of this is since you started to get towards the end, but at first it was kind of okay. Well, maybe I get it. I understand. It's got to be, he has certain doctrines he teaches and stuff. Like certain Baptist churches teach this, and Pentecostal,
Sure,
But
certain
it
pragmatism
was
there.
under that. It was like, hey, we did your Bible study. It's like, well, who led it? And it's like, okay, well now that's definitely a problem. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like we were being independent. So that's what really upset me, I think, at that point. So, but by the way, Chris, what's up, man? I
Yeah,
watch
hey.
this stuff all the time when I'm driving to work and anyway, I'm Shunk Company. You probably see my name on there.
Oh yeah, I know you, man.
All right, man. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of these days, when I got time, we'll have to talk about creation, evolution, all that other stuff. Even me and Claude, but I love all you guys. You guys are the best.
Well, I think that just goes to the point. We're not anti-Christian. I respect people and like people who have all kinds of different beliefs. It's just Kent is horrible. That's the issue. And he doesn't practice what he preaches. And I know to all extent none of us is perfect. We never claim.
Well, that's the sad part is like he preaches the right things a lot of times, and it's like, man, like, and then when it doesn't happen, it's like. It's even more frustrating.
Only you remotely lived like the way you say people should live, Kent, but you don't. And that's the thing. Like, I say some horrible stuff in my streams, and I acknowledge it's character, it's kayfabe, it's me just being, theatrical as best I can be. But much like Claude, I don't have problems with religion or people. It's once stuff reaches that certain point, and especially when hypocrisy comes into play, I just lose all ability to tolerate it. People's behaviors just, and hence the way I am with Hovind.
Well, especially when they pretend to be I'm the perfect husband. It's like, okay, you're on wife number 5.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Anything is wrong with you?
He hasn't quite got.
And he's trying to talk
5.
to me and convince me. It's like, you understand? I was there when that happened, right? Like you're not gonna tell me this story. I was sitting next to you. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Again, I still have we'll text every now and then and stuff, but I'm very honest with him about things that bother me. I'm like, why did you sue Mark? Where did this come from? What is wrong with you? Like, there's nothing even been said in like 9 months or a year. You're now bringing up all this for what?
I think it's been 2 years since the last video.
You're right. Yeah, it's basically that's my point. It's been so long. Everyone's been.
Yeah, it's like, why now?
Little comments been out here and there, but no, nothing like in the past where it was like blasted and repeated. And so why bring it back up? I don't understand that.
Only thing I can think of is he needs money. He's not going to get it this way, but why would he do it? I mean, that would be the only reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something must have been said that bothered. I don't know. Or Paul maybe is desperate and needs some money again. He's like, hey, man, I'll help you sue Mark. Oh, yeah? Okay, come back. Yeah, you can live here free now, and I'll give you some money for writing this up, and let's sue him. Like, I don't know. Random thought off the top of my head, but it makes sense.
I mean, does he realistically think he's going to A, win it, and B, even if he did, get any money? I mean,
for him, that's not the point.
It's like getting blood out of a stone.
Well, that's not the point. It's just like with Cindy contesting the case by it now being brought back up again. Oh, I've won. The courts have decided I've won. where they just want to talk about it. It's like, no, that's not what's happened. They're giving you a chance to bring it back up because that's your right. The courts haven't decided you're now correct. They haven't decided. Oh, like Sandra, he brings up, oh, she owes me money, and in the divorce, the judge said, hey, is there anything that you want to contest? And he said, oh yeah, she took some money from me. He said, okay, well then we're going to contest that. I said, see, the judge agrees with me that she owes me money. It's like, no. He's just giving you your right to contest. He doesn't agree with you. You know what I mean? Like that's a twisted and manipulated.
Kent, he just wants you to be able to actually, plead your case in court and go through a process of this, to see what the truth actually is. Not, hey, he's agreeing with you. You don't get this.
I mean, I
Correct.
think
Yeah.
if Sandra got away with 16K or whatever the figure was, Joseph let the cat out of the bag one night. I say good on her because it's nothing compared to the 4 years that she was there and
Oh,
working
yeah.
for him. Nothing. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
and
I
the
don't
tax
blame
money
her.
she probably sacrificed with her kids, and how much was given on that stuff, being married and combining and giving up her kid tax credits, and yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of
I
money.
mean,
That's a
It
lot more
I
than
is.
mean, I
14
don't.
grand.
In some ways, I don't like the fact that she supported him for so long, but in the end, she was brave enough to leave. And what I would love to do, but I could never do it. I don't think she'll respond to me. But if she was prepared to talk about it and put her side, because he's been attacking her lately, little snide comments. I wish she would do an interview. I'd be kind.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
You
Yeah,
talk about
just
Sandra
him
now or
again.
Cindy?
Sandra. Yeah.
Sandra, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't like she's smart in a way by being quiet, but
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah,
great
she
if
is.
she would start talking.
Well, because so this is kind of what brought me out eventually. When's the point where people are being damaged because you're not talking? So I get what she's doing, protecting her kids and her family, and she still has kids under a certain age. When I started talking, my kids weren't even born yet, So it's like, but at the same time, I get where they're coming from. But when is it you're now harming other people because you're not saying, hey, this is what really happened, you know? Because he's out there perpetuating a lie and twisting everything, and thankfully most people can see it. But what about those ones that don't? You know,
How many people you think are living on the DAL right now? Full timers.
who knows? Honestly, he's got so many in and out, and sometimes there's a good group of people that are, and other times it's a bunch of ex-convicts, and who knows?
I
It's
mean, how many
kind of
people can that place realistically support anyway? I've never actually,
a lot.
done a
A
calculation.
lot,
Oof.
like custom cabins, houses, areas, especially for people that are loyal and been there for years and stuff. Oh yeah. No,
What
are
do you,
they like these No, not at all. He's very the only thing I would say he's bad about with the money is he promises I'll build this and then uses it elsewhere. But he's not bad about the money is that he's putting in his pocket, buying all this nice. I would never say that about him. I never saw
Okay.
him that way. I never saw him be, irresponsible, stupid, or you know what I mean. It was just it was more like, hey, man, if you said this 10 grand was for this, then use it for this, because they're gonna show up and see where's this, But he
So,
still,
so you, I was gonna say you'd say
but
it's
he
more
still
of just a
used
kind
it
of
for
a little
building.
incorrect budgeting, kind of
That's
like
all. That's all.
accidentally
That's
miss.
the
Yeah.
worst I would say. But he still spent it for building. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
uh, and most of his own income, he put into taking people out and all that. So I didn't see that. The problem I had was he had people stealing from him. We were telling him, hey, someone's stealing from you, and he just, oh, I've had them for years. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like that's where it's like, well, that's irresponsible now, right? Like you might
Wow.
be
Okay.
irresponsible, but when you're being told you're being stolen from and you're not doing anything about it, now you're letting your financiers being stolen from you, right? So that was my other problem too. And then he even talked about it. What Steve stole like 100 grand, 200 grand, and then he had to pay it back and all this other that's crazy. You know how many people were telling him for years who got kicked out because they disagreed with that guy? Like, mm. Again, I can put that up to trusting someone you thought you could trust. Fine. but there's a point when do you start taking responsibility?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Tech Steve, you know, he was up to various things for years, and you could tell he was on something. Then he did the midnight visit where he exposed Kent having the hot tub. I thought that was funny, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is done for ministry work, you know. And then guess who has the only person I ever see in that hot tub? Guess who? You know, I mean, it was horrendous. Horrible.
And Cindy really got chased out for trying to point out what Steve was doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And yeah, that's basically what happened. It was like, look, pick me or Steve, and Kent's like, okay, bye. I'll get a new horse to ride. I can't get a new
And he did.
Steve
And he
who will
did.
do these things for me. No one else will. Bye. Right? Like that's the other thing. We always wondered what was going on, you know. So I mean, to send the police over to clear out all the computers and stuff when he got arrested. Remember Jeff talking about that on the interview or whatever, saying like, Ken, that's not right. Why are you sending? You've got the DAL van out in front of his house clearing out equipment when the guy just got arrested, like on the front page of the newspaper, and now you got the DAL van outside his house emptying out all his equipment. He's like, Ken, that doesn't look good.
No.
And he kicked Jeff out for that. And he's like, no, Ken, I'm your friend. I'm just trying to help you. Like, think better. You know?
Oh, that's
Oh,
Wild.
man. And that's the things that are, yeah, wild. Yeah, because, yes, is the man passionate? Does he preach? Does he get up every day? Does he work hard? I'm not going to say that. Does he spend every dollar on that place like an idiot? Yes. Is he responsible? No. Does he check the backgrounds of the people there? No, he doesn't care. He's going to use who does what he wants. That's the dangerous part. That's the part where it's like, stop that. Stop trying to get around the tax money and hire independent contractors, right? And not have to pay insurance and health care. And, oh, but you have a place to live. That's great. I'd rather have insurance and health care and proper pay and you know what I mean? So and then you're stuck in a position where you're month to month. You really can't save up, and that's where the cult aspect comes in.
well, you know, I worry about, you know, because even though I don't particularly like Joseph, he's still a human and he's doing his best. But what's his security at DAL? And I'd say it's very little. And if he falls out with Kent for whatever reason, he's gone. He doesn't have anything. Is that right?
That's the point, yes, and that's what
Yeah.
happens to a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't want that happening to Joseph.
No.
No,
But,
look,
you know,
most of the people that go there are innocent, good people. They have no idea, to be honest, because you're showing up
Definitely.
watching the videos from Kent from 14 years ago that you grew up with, and you're thinking, wow, he's the guy that he preaches, you know? And when's the last time your family say, I was wrong, I was this? Like, wow, okay, cool. Right? And then you show up and it's like, oh, okay. Well, he's just a hard worker. He's got his little script. Okay, fine. I can deal with that too. And then you start seeing the other stuff going on, and then it's like, why? What's going on here? And then it's like they start pushing. The people that don't question stay. The people that do, they're out. You know, and that's the sad part. And so that's why you get so many people cycled. But then you get so many people stuck, and the people that are stuck are the people that have nowhere else to go. I can't tell you how many people they leave and they're back. They leave and they're back. They leave and they have nowhere else to go except there. And those, you know what I mean? So, anyway.
Sad.
who do you think Joseph will get DAL when Kent eventually shuffles off this mortal coil or becomes too unwell?
Well, don't you know
Who-
Bolin wanted to be the next Kent Hovind rep?
I think so, but I'm not sure if I think he
Oh, it's
might have
gonna-
realized he's not going to be now. You know?
Remember
I
that
know,
that
so
Matt,
sad.
Matt guy? He was going to be
Oh,
the
Matt
heir.
Powell.
Matt Powell,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. I
I
haven't
don't know what
seen
happened
him.
with that. I wasn't there with any of that, but
I haven't really actively sought out his YouTube. I don't even know what he's up to.
yeah, I mean, there's things he said have been pretty, you know, he's almost on Team Kent Hovind, and then there's other times where it's like, well, he left, he did do this, okay, but I don't know. Matt Powell said some pretty bad things. So
Yeah.
Do you think that Joseph could be the new Kent?
I don't really know Joseph that well. I
No.
don't pay attention. I never met
No.
him. I can't really comment on that. So
The other thing is that one of the former wives could have a go at him over it and say, well, it is his property, because he's been on saying that he was given the property. He, Kent, the person gave me the property 10 years ago. This is the celebration. So he's actually admitted now on record that it is his property, no matter what sort of structure he puts up to try and keep it separate.
yeah, that's a good point.
Good point.
Yeah.
So that could mean there'd be a fight over the assets. And there it is. It's on record. I've put it up I don't know how many times on my show. So he can't take it down and say, "Oh no, I never said that." He did say it. He said it.
Well, I'm sure the
times.
IRS wants some of its money.
Yeah, well, I'd like that. Would be good.
Heard you got some property. It'd be a real shame if we came and taxed it.
Well,
I mean, he's literally asking the county to pave his roads. You know what I mean? Like
The dust on
he's
Pearl
already been
Lane.
almost fined by them for cutting through the roads. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of things there. Because Kent don't want to ask for permits. You don't want to do things all the time. And it's crazy because it's like it's $50 in a form. Just do it. Comes around, goes around, right? So
Yeah.
again, do I think he's doing it because no, he's just trying to get it built and get it going. He's excited, and I really do believe that. I get frustrated with him because he doesn't care to check backgrounds. He doesn't care to put standards in. He doesn't care to even upgrade old information. And look, your point can be proper, but the stuff you're using for it makes you look like a fool, which makes you look like you're lying, because clearly you are. Because if you were telling the truth and you really believe what you were saying, you would then say, "Hey, this data I found out, it was wrong. This is new data." What's wrong with that? What's his name went through like all the stuff showing like how this article was incorrect and this on the mammoth testing ages on the legs and stuff. I literally went to Kent and showed him. And he was all like, "Oh yeah, let's update this. We can use something new." I'm like, "Okay, great." Never happened. That was something too that was like frustrating.
Well,
He preaches admit when you're wrong and change things. Okay. He don't admit when he's wrong ever, and he don't change things. So that's my problem with him.
there is an off chance he doesn't even believe what he teaches, but I tend to believe he believes it. But I mean, he is a con man, so
Exactly. Like how do you keep preaching something over and over again and just never do it? That's you got to be so cold.
Now, folks, I've got to sort of wind it up now, but I've really enjoyed it, and so hope we can do this again another day. And the Kukuri, so you'll have a show tomorrow.
I should.
So that should be good. I really appreciate everybody here in the comments and coming on. You three guys coming on too. It's been good.
Yeah, and if I pop up as woohoo in the new the third amended lawsuit, it'll all because I went on your show.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's a wonder we all aren't on. I mean, all our different.
It's going to be
names
hard to
aren't
serve
on there.
woohoo and Claude Bawles.
Yeah,
it would be hard to find us.
But even if he did, it's. I don't believe I've said anything defamatory either. I try and speak the truth.
And it's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna tell you now. My real name isn't Woohoo, so it's gonna be hard to prove that.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry, Mark. But yeah, I do have to go. We're right at the end of it. But we had a bit of fun earlier. You can look back and look back and listen. Wind back and listen if you like. Though. Okay, thanks, guys, and we'll.
Well, I want to say I appreciate everything you guys do. Gurisu, everybody else, keep it up. I may not agree with everything you say, but there's a lot I definitely stand behind. So I enjoy your shows, and thank you, Claude, and thank you for having me on.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Later.